Hey guys, what's up? So this is a little special I put together for young drummers or people thinking about starting to play the drums, or perhaps if you're a parent of a child who's expressed some interest in drums or music generally. I thought it might be helpful to answer the question of money, because money is a big barrier for getting into almost any new hobby, career, profession, however you view the drums. So here's the answer. The bottom line to start playing drums is it takes about $35. All right, it's probably the least expensive instrument to start playing. And the good news is that what you will buy for that $35 is professional grade stuff. So what do you need to buy? First thing, hopefully obviously, you need a pair of drumsticks. There are many, many different brands. I oscillate between brands right now. Sometimes I like Zildjian, sometimes I like Vic Firth, sometimes it's Vader. It just depends. I jump around on sticks quite a bit. But there are many different sizes. If you go to a music store, you'll see a wall that probably has about 80, 90 different types, maybe even more, of drumsticks. Where do you begin? Easy answer is 5A. These are 5As here. It's what I play almost exclusively. It is, in my opinion, the best stick to start with because it is relatively thin, therefore easier to control, and yet it has enough mass and length to properly develop the muscles that will be required to hit the drums properly. So 5A drumsticks, they cost about $8. You can get them anywhere. You can get them online, etc. Does not matter which brand, like I said. Okay, so that's $8. What do we do with the rest of it? Next thing you got to do is buy a copy of the book called Stick Control. That's another $8 and change. Okay, so we're at $16. That book I talk about all the time. I teach that book. I have put up videos of that book, Stick Control, on my site, so you can see how to play it, and you can watch along and read along with your copy, and you get a lot done for your $8. The last thing you're going to need is something correct to hit on, right? It matters very, very much that you're hitting on a proper surface. Otherwise, you're going to be getting a different bounce off the stick than a drum produces, and you may actually, if you're playing on a very hard surface, be causing damage to your hands because the bounce is so strong coming off the pad. It requires that much more muscle and mass to maintain the control, which ends up burning out your muscles too quickly. So bottom line, you've got to get a drum pad. I like the rubber drum pads. I'm not a big fan of the head pads by Remo, just personally, because I find that, well, one, you can't play them anytime because they make noise, and so if you want to practice at 10 o'clock, you can't. So I really like super quiet pads for that reason alone. There's some other reasons as well. They don't last forever. They're loud, like I said, and they have a little rim on them that I find it's very tempting to try to play around with and click with, and that's not really stuff you do when you're doing real practice. So I'm not bagging on them. I used them for years. I still have one. I still like them. They're really good if you're playing with a group of other drummers and you want to be able to hear yourself and you're all on pads, etc. But I recommend the rubber ones. This big one is about $30. I like it because it fits over the head of a drum and covers it all. But you can get a smaller 6-inch pad for about $20. Now, those three things, along with this channel or anyone's drum channel, there's tons of free how to play drum videos on there. Those three things, to me, you're a drummer. If you're doing stick control every day on a pad, to me, you're a drummer. Okay, and I have a feeling that most drummers, including all those drummers listed on the inside of the covers of Stick Control, would agree. If you're doing that diligently for a while, you're a drummer. You do not need a drum set to be a drummer. I'll tell you why. Number one, it's really frustrating to start with the drum set. I mean, imagine you see guys on TV playing drum or wherever you see them playing drums. Oh, it looks so cool. I'm going to do that. Yeah, I'm fast. I can move my hands. Great. Get a young person in front of a kit with 2 pedals, 2 sticks. Okay, go. It's really, really overwhelming. The kid can make noise with the drums, which is good because a lot of instruments you can't even make noise at them at first. You got to learn how to produce the sound. You don't have to do that with drums. It's an advantage we have, but it's harder than it looks. A lot harder. People think drums are easy. They're wrong. It's just as hard as any other instrument, and people will debate that, and that's fine. But it is. If you don't think so and you play another instrument, you think drums are easy, I invite you to sit down at the kit sometime. I don't know, when you're at a studio with somebody or practicing rehearsal, sit down at the kit and try to do it. It is hard, just like any other instrument. So if you start and buy a young person a drum set, my prediction is, unless they have a very good teacher or they have a lot of interest and a lot of drive and a lot of talent, they will get very, very frustrated quickly and probably give it up or put it away for a while and go do something else. Because it's not fun to be not the greatest or even bad at an instrument, right? Especially if you can make a sound and hear that it's bad. So don't start with the drum set. It's largely a waste of money. You're not going to be very good on it for at least a year anyway. And on top of that, you're probably going to buy something that you wish you hadn't, and you want to go a different direction or maybe get a little bit better, save up, whatever. So for all these reasons and many more, don't buy a drum set first if you can avoid it. Sure, there's drummers who did that or got handed a kit from an older brother or something and are very good, and that's fine. It's not, it's not that you can't start with the drum set. I just don't recommend it. It tends to not be the best use of money, and you're not going to get a lot of use out of the kit if you're learning how to play drums for a while anyway. And you're still going to need all the stuff I said, the stick pad, the stick control, so blah, blah. You get the idea. Also, you have to realize when you decide to become a true drummer that you've got a long road ahead to get where you probably want to be. A very long road. So, as tempting as it is to just get everything and start hitting it in the hopes that you'll, rise to the challenge, not my advice. Spend a year on a pad with stick control and other books. I'm going to teach them all on my channel. Come back here often. You're a drummer, even if you don't have a drum set. Thank you.